is now no longer 8 years old. He is 13 and looks like a grown-ass man. So we are going to jump right in and play this relaxing chapter. I'm going to stop this episode around the 35-40 minute mark. I think this is where the chapters get longer, so I am going to have to call it before the game does. Okay, I hope you've been doing very well. I've missed you. Let's jump in. August ended. September began. It was time to go back to school. Lizzie groaned and complained the entire first week. She hated going to classes. Still, there were interesting things to do that couldn't be done anywhere else. You weren't sure how Cove felt about it. He was enrolled that year. That was like a sign Cove would be staying in Sunset Bird for a while. At school, he was alright, but kept his distance from other kids, from what you saw anyway. Whenever he could, Cove stuck to you like glue. He didn't even mind that much what you did to pass the time, as long as it was together. And that was just fine. You felt for him the same way you always had. Nothing had changed. Except, as you got older, you were able to understand better exactly what those feelings had and still meant. That year, the divorce of Cove's parents was finalized. You overheard your parents talking about it, saying Cove's dad got full custody. At first, you were worried that meant bad news. It had made Mr. Holden cry, apparently. Then you found out it meant Cove would keep living with his dad. He would only stay with his mom a few weeks out of the year. Cove cried too, for different reasons, you thought. It seemed like Cove and his dad might move again, but Mr. Holden decided to stay after all. Mom asked him about it once. He had said he didn't want to uproot Cove's life a second time. Mr. Holden tried to get Cove to like Sunset Bird more. He kept encouraging his son to go out and see the place. Sometimes Mr. Holden volunteered you to spend time with Cove. I have to sneeze. He seemed very confident that it was an effective strategy. Cove never talked to anyone about what happened with his parents, and withdrew whenever it was brought up. It was hard for him, yet nobody knew how to help. Eventually, Cove stopped crying on his own. You couldn't understand what had changed, but you hoped that you could help him feel better still, since even without the tears, he looked sad. Maybe one day he could say out loud what he felt inside. After that, it felt like things had gone back to normal, except what was normal didn't stay the same. Years passed, and suddenly you were in middle school. You weren't a kid anymore. You were 13 years old. That officially made you a teen, even if your sister didn't agree. The toys and crayons that used to litter every free space in your room had been packed away somewhere, replaced by new hobbies. There were other changes too. Cove's cast got taken off. It was weird to see him without it initially. Underneath the pink plaster ended up being a long, thin scar that snaked across his forearm. Cove's chest puffed out in pride when someone drew attention to it. He also went through a major growth spurt. He was the tallest student in his class for 2 years in a row. Cove will probably hold that spot again next time. In class, people knew him for more than just being tall. He also stood out because of how well he did with his school stuff overall. Over the years, he still remained familiar in a lot of ways. He talked to people when they came to him, but never really searched out company on his own. And the only kid that came to visit the neighborhood when you were little, Shiloh, well, he was gone. He and his mom moved back south because of her work, just 1 year after Cove came to Sunset Bird. left, Lizzie was inconsolable for weeks, but nobody talked about Shiloh anymore. It was a long time ago. You learned some heartbreaking things became less sad the further away they were, even if they had never gotten any better. That was sad in its own way. Getting depressing over here. Things at home were different too. You still lived in the same house and all that, but it wasn't how you was before. Ma dyed her hair purple, wanting something new, and liked it so much she kept dyeing it. You remember calling her Mommy as a kid, but something like that seemed awkward nowadays. You were much too old for the word. Lizzie felt too mature for her nickname too. She insisted on everyone calling her Elizabeth, so you did. Your moms soon gave her permission to go places other than the playground and shopping street, which she took advantage of. You rarely saw her around the old neighborhood. In fact, she hardly spent time with you the way she did before. Elizabeth instead associated more and more with girls from school who were her own age. Maybe the difference between 13 and 15 was greater than the difference between 8 and 10. That's true. You started befriending new people yourself, like Derek Soares. He didn't live in the neighborhood or go to the same school. What happened was his and Gove's dad struck up a business partnership a few months ago. Since then, Derek would pop up in the area now and then. It seemed Mr. Soares was happy to let Derek tag along to his work if Derek had the time for it. New character unlocked. Without a doubt, everyone and everything around you had changed in small and big ways. You had to. As time went by, though, it was easy to settle into this new normal. Then, before you knew it, school was over and summer vacation had come again. I miss this music. It was the first day of summer vacation. The sun was as hot as ever, but you were inside and away from its harsh rays. To be more specific, you were snuggled up in bed celebrating your time off by sleeping in, or wide awake about to head out to enjoy your time. Let's be realistic. She snuggled up in bed. It was hot, but you still had the blanket up over your head to block out the sun. You didn't want it intruding on your lazy morning. Unfortunately, you hadn't prepared for an intrusion. From beneath the blanket, you heard the door creak open. Oh, look at Elizabeth, 15. They grow up so quick. Oh my gosh, voices. You're still sleeping? Wow, get up. Go away. You pretended to still be asleep. You got up. You started to fake snore loudly. Morning. We're gonna fake snore loudly. Maybe she'll go away. You didn't get out of bed and instead made some obnoxiously loud and totally phony sleeping sounds. It was pretty annoying, but she had bothered you first. Ugh, not funny. Get up now. I will come over there. So much for a lazy morning. Mom told me to tell you that your baby boyfriend is here and wants to see you again, like he does every day. He brought some happy summer gift from Mr. Holden. Mom wants you to take it from him, say thanks or whatever. You did not like the way she called him your baby boyfriend, but you knew by now that saying so wouldn't stop her. So come down already. I just picture her perpetually rolling her eyes. Be right there. Okay, fine. Really? That's great. I'm coming. I'll be there when I'm there. Okay. I'm just gonna say... I don't know. I'm excited to see Cove. We're excited. Elizabeth said nothing else and left, having done what was instructed of her. You rolled out of bed, stretching your arms up high and yawning. Time to get ready. You sat yourself in front of the mirror in the far corner of your room. Your reflection hardly even fit in the frame. You're very tall. Your reflection went over the whole length of the mirror. You were pretty tall. she is short. Pretty short. Not too short, just pretty short. You could relate to Derek and how it felt to be smaller than people thought you ought to be. Your shortness seemed even more drastic when compared to Cove, who was unusually tall. What a cute couple. You liked your height. You weren't sure how to feel about it. You were kind of self-conscious over it. She likes her height. Let's love ourselves. It suited you well in your mind. Then you put the finishing touches on your outfit while ruminating on the situation. Careless as they had been, Elizabeth's words piqued your curiosity. You planned on going over to see what Cove was up to today, so this worked in your favor. It was when you spotted your reflection that you realized you were smiling wide. You were looking forward to seeing him. You left your room, resting a hand on the railing as you went down the stairs. Are we about to see Cove? Step 2, second chance. You spotted Mom first, reclining on the couch. She held a magazine in her hands, which she was perusing through. This music kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy VIII for some reason. I don't even know which part, but my mind goes to Final Fantasy VIII. Okay. Morning, Paige. Morning, Mom. She looked up at your greeting, a smile instantly appearing on her face.
Thanks.
Good morning, Paige. Thank you for coming down. Ma's at the door with Cove. He can't stay over today, unfortunately. Why don't you go and thank him before he leaves? You nodded and made your way to the front of the house. Just as she said, Ma was there making conversation. She must have heard you because she looked over her shoulder.
Oh.
Ah, look who finally made it. Morning, sleepyhead. Ma reached forward and you knew she was about to pat you on the head. She was taller than average for an adult woman, so at your height, you were absolutely tiny in her eyes. You let her do it. You happily let her do it. You tilted your body aside to dodge. You pushed her hand back and laughed. You pushed her hand back and groaned. Let's push her hand back and laugh. Like, it's not a big deal, but not in front of Cove. Ma could be so ridiculous, he thought, but that was okay. Oh, you're the last one down today, you know that. Life isn't a race. Morning. I was gonna stay in longer, so you're welcome. Sorry about the wait. What did we get? I'm gonna say... Life isn't a race. No. I'm just gonna say I was gonna stay in longer, so you're welcome. Get some sassiness in this morning. Yes, thank you for gracing us all with your presence this fine day. With a small laugh, Ma stepped aside. It's the big reveal. Cove was just as he remembered, exactly how you came to know him to be. Oh my god. He does not look 13. He leaned uncomfortably to the side in your doorway as his bushy hair covered part of his face. He is so cute. His features were pinched in embarrassment, and he shifted from one foot to another. He was holding what must be the much talked about gift. Why is he blushing? At first glance, you figured it must be a bouquet of flowers. Then you gave it a real look. No, instead it was carefully cut fruit. It made a lot of sense that it was actually from Cove's dad. You had to suppress a laugh at this showing. You couldn't imagine many folks buying that sort of thing for their own personal enjoyment. That kind of arrangement was built for the presentation, likely to impress whoever was inevitably going to receive it. It seemed no matter how long he lived here, Mr. Holden would keep going out of his way to be neighborly, and Cove would always be roped into participating. I love Mr. Holden. He's such a nice neighbor. You've got the hot dad and you've got the hot son. Best neighbors. Cove sighed in relief at the sight of you. He must have been braving some embarrassment to get this far, and that had clearly been what he was waiting for. Hey, Paige. Hold on. I don't completely remember how I did Cove's voice, but let me clear my throat. That's good. Hey, Paige. He broke eye contact, then staring down at the ground instead. Your heartbeat sped up, being near him. You smiled back fondly. He always had this kind of effect on you. You couldn't help think ever since the two of you were kids. There was something about him that was just special in some strange and indescribable way. Hey, it's nice to see you.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the voice acting. He had that awkward teenage voice. Yeah, I mean, it's nice seeing you too. Not that it's nice for you to see me. The both of you had a bit of a laugh, though your gazes still didn't meet again. Why is it so awkward? It was already shaping up to be another long summer. The best part was that the two of you had plenty of time to enjoy each other's company and relish what you had together. His awkwardness over the task started to creep back in, so Cove nudged the gift closer to you. He was ready to be relieved of it. Your hands brushed over his just slightly when you took hold of the base. Oh my god, your hands touched. He flinched enough for you to know with certainty that he noticed to have, and they were so fucking awkward. You worried you might have reacted in a similar way without realizing it. And with that, the gift was accepted. This thing was definitely Dad's idea. I would have gone for something else, but if you can't eat it all, I wouldn't mind taking a couple skewers. He smiled, looking amusedly at the gift, then back to you. You called that one. Thank you. Thanks. You are too cute sometimes. Okay, so Paige is shy, so I can't just be, I don't know, confident towards him and flirty towards him because that goes against her character. So she is gonna say thank you to you and Mr. Holden. I'll tell him you said that. Mr. Holden's behavior was really different from any neighbor you'd ever had, though after 5 years you were used to his antics, and you'd since made up your mind on what your opinion was. Is there an option saying he's hot? He was great and kinda handsome to boot. That's the one. Okay, let's do that. Though there were some things people didn't like about Mr. Holden, you didn't mind them and liked him quite a bit. And even if he was Cove's dad, you couldn't pretend like he wasn't a nice looking guy. That was good too, but it was something you kept to yourself. Your thoughts were quickly interrupted by a shout. There you are! You shared a confused look with Cove as both of you stepped through the open door onto the neighborhood street. It didn't take long to locate the source of the noise. You spotted Derek just a few yards down the road. He ran up to you. You were happy at the sight of him, you were confused at the sight of him, you were displeased at the sight of him. I have no opinion of Derek, so I'm just gonna say confused. You hadn't expected to see Derek today, though you never really knew when he'd appear. After stopping a couple steps away, Derek hunched over to catch his breath. Character unlocked. Then he looked up with a wide grin. Love the eyes.
Hey.
Hey guy and gal. I was just at your house, Cove, but no one was there. Should have figured you'd be at Paige's place. Do you ever spend time in your own home, or are you always just here? I'm sorry, but look at Cove. Look at the chest muscles. Derek laughed at his own joke. He either didn't notice that it embarrassed Cove, or the embarrassment was what he was exactly laughing at. Derek turned to you. He was gonna say more when his eyes widened and he gasped. What's that? You followed his gaze, unsure. Then you realized what he meant. you were still holding Mr. Holden's gift. It's kind of like a bouquet of flowers, but made out of fruit. Nice! Can I have some? Sure, we can share. I haven't even tried any yet. It's a gift for my family. I can't give it to you. Maybe you can have some later. It's a gift for the family. Sure, we can share. We're all friends here. Derek grew more excited by your words, bouncing on the balls of his feet. Awesome! Then he nodded his head as if to clear it. Anyway, that's right. I came here because I needed to say something big. He paused possibly for effect. There's some other kid here in Sunset Boulevard. Bird. Cove was as surprised as you by the news. Such a reaction made sense. No one around your age had moved here since Cove did 5 years ago. Were they with their family? Maybe they were cutting through. Nuh-uh, the new kid was all by himself, just walking. Did you talk to him? Nope. I came to report the sighting right away. The kid had green hair, glasses, was pretty small, and seemed really upset about something. I hope he didn't leave. You blinked slowly. You looked over to your longtime neighbor. That sounds a lot like you, Cove, when you first got here anyway. Oh, yeah, I guess that was me back then. Derek snickered good-naturedly. I can see that really well now that you say so. But what do you say? Let's go find Cove's lookalike. We should all meet him. I'll do it. Sure, I want to see who this person is. Derek grinned, then he pointed down the street, the way he came. Last I saw him, the mystery visitor was going this direction. Nothing else needed to be said. The three of you were off, with Derek leading the way. Derek brought you to the beach, and as a trio, you made your way down the shore to the old playground. You walked the familiar path in a comfortable silence. When you were almost there, you spotted the kid in question. His bright colors almost shone like a beacon beneath the rays of the sun. He scuffled around, kicking up the sand as he paced. It was true, he certainly seemed upset, but you didn't think he was sad like you had originally pictured. No, with his erratic movements and scrunched up expression, he came off angry. You became uncomfortable at the idea of talking to the stranger now. You didn't want to bother him if he was in such a bad mood. You shared a look with Cove. He was equally reluctant to start up a conversation. Derek didn't feel the same. He waved wildly, calling out to the boy, Hey! Hey guy over here! Character unlocked. The kid whipped around, an impressive scowl carving deeper onto his face. His eyes were tired, but a strong, hostile energy still radiated from him. Intense. What is it? What do you want? The sharp tone made Derek flinch. He shifted on his feet. What's your name? Jeremy, was that it? No, I'm Derek. That's Paige and Cove. We were just walking around and saw you. We wanted to say hi. There aren't a lot of kids our age in the neighborhood. Yeah, so you know it's cool to see someone else here. Strangely, Jeremy grew furious by your response. If steam could erupt from a person's ears, it would have happened then. They did bring me somewhere stupid, of course. I knew it. What?
My parents.
My parents. They're the ones who brought me. I didn't want to walk to this town. Can you not figure that out on your own? Right. My dad brings me to Sunset Bird too, when he has to come for work and all that stuff. It's not bad. That earned him a glare from Jeremy. Derek winced beneath it, glancing away. It was a struggle to remain friendly with this Jeremy guy. I mean, I wouldn't want to come here for a real vacation probably either. That's an understatement. This doesn't count as a vacation. It's a waste of time. A chore. My parents' family families nearby, and we just had to come see them. Ugh. If they're your parents' family, doesn't that make them your family too? I guess. That's a pretty good reason to come by. Did you want to go somewhere else? No. Jeremy crossed his arms with a huff. He turned away. They should have gone by themselves, since they cared so much and left me home, but I'm not allowed to be by myself. Pfft. It makes no sense. They're the ones who don't know how to do anything, and I'm the kid. Yikes, this guy's creepy. You kept quiet. You shouldn't talk about your parents like that. Sorry, it must suck being forced to do something you don't want. We just said hello. You don't have to keep complaining at us. Calm down. You don't have to yell so much. Who peed in your cereal this morning? Okay, at least being rude to my friends and acting crazy, so. Who peed in your cereal this morning? Is that something Paige would say? Who peed in your cereal this morning? Jeremy's lips curled as his face contorted from anger to horror.
That's disgusting.
Why would you think of something like that? It's disgusting.
Sheesh.
It's just an expression. He took a deep breath. You thought for one hopeful second that maybe he was calming himself down. He was not. So what? You're putting it in people's heads. I don't want to have to think about it, and someone brainless might decide it's a good idea and actually do it. There are some real stupids out in the world, you know. You're all living proof of that. Rude. Hey, when we're not stupid. Okay, I'm just gonna say stop it. You first. You turned to Cove, lowering your voice. The two of you aren't that similar after all. Jeremy must have had good hearing though, because he caught the private exchange and scoffed.
Stupid.
Ugh, of course we're not similar. My eyebrows aren't stupid. Low blow, low blow. Cove's cheeks flushed crimson at the insult. You couldn't be sure if it was out of embarrassment or anger. Maybe both. Come on. What? I'm gonna come to Cove's rescue. No, Cove's wavy eyebrows are so cool. How can you say that when you've got a bowl cut? Don't listen to him. They're really unique and special. Well, they are kind of silly. Apologize to Cove right now. You can't treat people like that. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna stoop to his level. How can you say that when you've got a bowl cut? Yep, it's embarrassing and awful, but my parents made me. I won't have to have it when I'm older. I don't know what he's gonna do with those things, except maybe shave them off. He probably should. I bet he'd look less dumb with no eyebrows. Look at poor Cove over there. Okay, can I slap this fucker? You patted Cove on the shoulder. You lunged towards Jeremy. You grinned at all this. You crossed your arms over your chest. You shook your head. You just rolled your eyes. I'm just gonna laugh at his stupidity. He wasn't the nicest kid you'd ever met, but he certainly wasn't the dullest. He rejected your amusement by grimacing harder than ever. Wow, what is wrong with you? Instead of taking offense, Jeremy only parroted Derek's words in a nasally voice. Wow, what is wrong with you? Wow, wow. This is dumb. Jeremy stuck out his tongue and skulked away, throwing more sand everywhere as he went. You watched him go, hunched over until he became a speck in your vision. Silence reigned in his wake. The three of you tried to process what just happened. I can't believe that.